How do you do this again? Oh, better wipe off the dust here. I built these cornhole boards about, I don't know, 10 years ago, and I didn't do a real good job on them. They're kind of wobbly. They twisted on there. They're still usable. I thought this was just a good project for me to kind of get back into the swing of recording things. I got some wood from the big box store. I was gonna go with some nicer plywood, but the price difference between the birch plywood and this was incredible. The birch plywood was about $30 for a 2-foot by 4-foot section, and this is regular sheathing, and this was only $11 per section, which is still too expensive, but it is what it is. What I ended up doing was putting the cost into the frame pieces, because I think that's what happened last time. Is I just picked some 2x4s and they ended up twisting on me. So I got some good grade 1x4s here that I'm going to use for the frame. These boards are 10 feet long, so I'm going to get 2 4-foot sections out of them, and then I'll have some pieces that will go for the 2-foot minus the width of these here. So I'm going to start with those. So I've got my 2 4-footers here, and I've got it on the edge of this plywood. I'm just going to butt this one up here, and then I'll know that where it meets here is where I need to cut it. I ended up cutting 6 of these, 3 for each board, because I want to put one in the center. My thinking is that will help keep it a little bit more from skewing on me. And now I'm going to drill some pilot holes. Made a mark at the halfway point here. Transfer that to all of these. Got those lined up. Drill some more pilot holes here. Now a little glue and screw. And I'm using 2.5-inch screws for these. And now I need to fasten the top. Like I said before, the glue is what's going to do the majority of the holding. I'm actually going to use pin nails to secure it while the glue dries. I could use screws, but I don't think it's very necessary. I've got a bad side and a good side. I want to make sure that bad side is down. I like to put these in at angles, a little bit stronger. I marked 9 inches down from the top, and then a foot over to find the center. I set my compass here at 3 inches because you need a 6-inch hole. I don't have one with a pencil, but I can kind of scratch the surface here so I know where to cut. In hindsight, I am going to turn this over and cut it from the other side, but I need to know where that center is. So I'll just drill through there. The reason why I'm doing that is the jigsaw will create a lot of tear out on this side if I do it from the top side because of the way the teeth are made. So I'm gonna flip this over and do it the other way, and hopefully I won't get as much tear out. I need a starting hole. I got the legs off the old ones. They're cut, so it's rounded on here, so this will be able to turn. And let's see, they've got an angle on here. I don't know what that angle is, but they're about 11¼ long, which when it's standing up, it's supposed to be 12 inches from the foot to the top. And I'm going to use the hole that's in here to allow me to drill in this way. I can see the tip coming through, so I'm going to come back the other way so I don't get blowout. These bolts are really a lot longer than they need to be, but it's what I have. I remade these because when I put them together, the height was 11 3/4 inches. So I took the old one and I measured on it, and I created another 1/4 inch on it. This is a 15-degree angle off of 90. So on the miter saw, you set it at 15 degrees, and you get that cut. That works out perfectly on there. I had a little trip to the urgent care. It was a little careless when I was cutting those out. It's glued up. The cut itself isn't very deep, but it was longer than I had hoped it would be. I was initially thinking I wasn't going to go into urgent care, but I'm glad I did, because it has swollen up pretty good. I'll show you kind of what happened. I was on the table saw, and I had just cut up one of those legs, the rounds on one of the legs, and I had the other 3 blanks here, and I turned off the saw, grabbed one of the blanks and put it on, grabbed a pencil, and as I drew around, my finger caught this. A couple things I did wrong. I should have had the guard down. That would have helped. I probably wouldn't have been cut at all. That's where it should have been. Then I would have hit here. The cut was just right on the knuckle, so it wasn't that bad, and I think it's going to heal up nicely. But live and learn. I did get a little bit of chip out when I cut this out right here, and so I'm going to work on that now. So I've got some thin CA glue, and then I've got some sawdust here. Sprinkle that over, pat it down. And pour some more CA glue on there. All right, let that cure. And then I'll sand this whole top, starting with 120. I sanded this to 220, and it's pretty smooth. There are a few places, like right here and right here, where there are some deeper gouges or tears because it wasn't the greatest plywood in there. Here's one right here you can see. I'm not going to worry about that for this. I'm making it for fun. This is not a regulation board. If you were making a regulation board, you'd want to get the better plywood. I wipe this off with some mineral spirits to take the dust off, and I'm going to start with a base coat of the satin heirloom white. If you wanted to, you could fill in these screws where these screws are exposed. I'm not going to worry about it. I put 2 coats of that off-white on here, and now I'm going to put the sage green. So I put 1 coat of the green on. I really like the way the light color is coming through and the green is there. And now I'm going to use a clear matte. So they're done. Turned out pretty nice. I'm not sure why I used the same paint, but this one's a lot lighter green and this one's more of like a bluer green. Not sure what happened there, but they're still gonna work nice. Nice smooth finish. They're not warped like the old ones.